As we mentioned earlier this hour, Brittney Griner is back here on U.S. soil after being released by Russia in a prisoner swap. Speaking exclusively to CBS News, Congressman Mike McCaul, the incoming chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, said the swap emboldens the Russian President Vladimir Putin. And the congressman will also press the White House on why former Marine Paul Whelan was not freed, along with Griner. What are the implications for the remaining hostage, Paul Whelan?
Well, I think Putin's going to play him as a political pawn. And now that, this Ukraine situation is playing out, he's going to leverage it for as much as he can. And we have to be very careful, because if we don't negotiate these exchanges properly, it can end up in more detentions, false detentions of really innocent Americans in Russia. And I consider both both Griner and Paul Whelan to be innocent.
So you think that it's a deeper political play by the Russian president?
I do. I think he's trying to divide the nation by. He knew that Biden has a lot of pressure from the left to release Griner, and Putin's play is to divide left and right in this country by not releasing Whelan. And I think you'll probably see that playing out.
President Biden said when he addressed the nation that they are treating Whelan differently for, quote, illegitimate reasons. You see the intelligence. What does that mean?
Look, he's a Marine. He's being falsely detained. He's an innocent man. If we're going to release an arms merchant, merchant of death, they called him, serious killer, why didn't we get both of them? That was the original deal. And at the very last minute, the Russians said, hey, deal's off. We're just going to release Griner. And I think the Biden administration got played on this one.
Got played in what sense?
Played in terms of the deal was two, not just one.
Are you going to press the administration for more clarity on why they were not able to secure the release of Griner and Whelan?
Of course. I mean, I want to know what happened. I mean, the original deal was the two of them, not just one. And, again, I'm very pleased that we have Miss Griner back. And I know the family's very, very happy. But the Whelan family is very sad right now, because they may not get their son back.
What are the national security implications of this swap?
It could breed further false detentions of Americans in Russia and in China and in Iran and in North Korea. All of our adversary nations are emboldened and empowered right now. If they know they can take Americans falsely and detain them and try to negotiate some deal, it's a bad signal. Well,
we've seen prisoner swaps with both Republican and Democratic administrations. It's not like it's just the Biden White House that's done it.
If you're going to release one, the crimes have to be commensurate, not a merchant of death versus someone had a vape pipe. So there's no equilibrium here. And to me, it was it wasn't a very good negotiation. I'm glad Ms. Griner is home, but the negotiation left one behind.
A former U.S. official told CBS News, and they were involved in some of these discussions, they believe that the Russians deliberately targeted Brittney Griner and that it wasn't an accident when she was detained. And they pointed to the timing just before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. What's your assessment?
I agree with that assessment, and I concur, and I have independent confirmation of that. I think they absolutely targeted Ms. Griner, knowing full well they were going to invade Ukraine, and she became the political pawn in Putin's game if he needed something from us. And to not have a fair negotiation just encourages more bad behavior. I'm glad she's free, but she was the target of Putin's political game in his invasion in Ukraine.
Is that based on intelligence?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said recently that there would be no blank check for Ukraine when the Republicans take control of the House in the new year. What do you see as the flow of money and weapons to that country?
Well, I support Ukraine. I think, look, with the amount of investment we've had, is very small relative to destroying the Russian military. And that's what we've done without one American soldier being attacked, killed, or in country. To me, that's a pretty good investment. Now, having said that, we are going to have oversight. We are going to have transparency and accountability. It's the American taxpayer dollars at stake here, and they deserve to know where their money is going, and we will do that.
So you would be in favor of more heavily arming the Ukrainians to bring it to a faster conclusion?
100%, because the longer you drag this out, the more bloodshed, and the longer the American people and the Congress will dwindle until we can get this thing over with.
On the House leadership race, will Kevin McCarthy become the House Speaker in January?
I believe he will. There are 4 holdouts. He's got a matter of several weeks to play this out, and I think he will. I think the bigger question is, can Republicans govern in this majority, with just a 4-member majority?
Do you see a serious challenger at this stage?
I don't. And I think that errs to Kevin's benefit.
Mm-hmm. Is there a scenario where a consensus candidate is put forward?
We saw that, deja vu when Kevin pulled out before the conference and we had to rally behind Paul Whelan. So if on January 3rd, God forbid, we don't get a consensus, we'd have to reconvene as a conference and figure this one out, either try to get to 218 or try to find another candidate. But I really think Kevin has it. I think he's going to be elected Speaker on January 3rd.